In life, many people often have the habit of comparing themselves to others. They ask themselves, why can't I be like them? These thoughts make us feel dissatisfied with ourselves and easily fall into sadness or disappointment. In today's digital age, with the widespread use of social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, this habit of comparison has become even more common. We constantly see the glamorous lives of others through beautifully edited photos and videos, and unconsciously believe they are happier than we are. However, this often does not reflect reality. Everyone has their own difficulties and sorrows that outsiders cannot see. The following story is told to those who feel discontented with their lives or think others are always luckier and happier. Through this story, not only will we learn a valuable lesson about happiness, but we'll also have the chance to pick up new English vocabulary through a gentle, easy-to-follow storytelling style. One day, a crow was flying and landed on a tree branch to rest. From above, it saw a swan swimming in a nearby pond. The swan had bright white feathers that stood out and attracted the attention of many villagers. They came to admire and marvel at its pure beauty. The crow felt curious and flew closer, but as soon as the villagers saw the crow, they waved their hands to chase it away. The crow felt sad and wondered if it was because of its black feathers that people thought it would dirty the place. Then it flew to another branch, but once again it was shooed away. Feeling hurt, the crow left the village and flew deep into the forest. There it sat alone on a branch and began to cry. It blamed itself. People hate me just because of my black feathers. If I had white feathers like the swan, I would be happier. The sadness made the crow believe that its appearance was the reason it was not loved, and that life would be much better if it could be like the swan. As the crow was crying alone on a tree branch in the forest, an old crow flew by and noticed how sad it looked. The old crow stopped and asked, "Why are you so sad, young one?" The young crow replied, "I hate my ugly black feathers. No one likes me. If I had white feathers like the swan, I would be loved and happy." Hearing this, the old crow smiled gently and asked, "If you could become any bird, who would you want to be?" Without thinking long, the young crow answered immediately, "I want to become a swan. Everyone admires it." The old crow nodded and told a story about a magical spring deep in the forest. If a bird bathes in it with a pure heart, it can change its appearance. But before doing that, the old crow advised the young one to go ask the swan if it was truly happy. The young crow agreed and decided to return to the pond to meet the swan and learn the truth. After listening to the old crow's advice, the young crow flew back to the pond where the swan was swimming. It approached and asked, "Dear swan, you must be the happiest bird in the village. Your white feathers are pure and beautiful, and everyone loves you. Are you happy?" The swan paused for a moment and replied, "Thank you for your kind words, but to be honest, I am not happy. Even though my feathers are beautiful, I am kept as a pet and cannot live freely. When I grow old, people may kill me for my meat. I don't even know if I'll be alive tomorrow." Hearing this, the crow was very surprised. It had never imagined that the swan, an image of beauty, also lived in fear and uncertainty. The crow asked, "So who do you think is the happiest bird?" The swan thought for a while and replied, "Maybe the parrot. They have colorful feathers that are even more beautiful than mine, and humans don't eat them." After hearing the swan's words, the crow decided to find a parrot and ask. It flew around for a while and finally saw a parrot perched on a tree branch. The crow came closer and said, "Dear parrot, your feathers are so bright and beautiful. You must be the happiest bird." The parrot sighed and replied, "My feathers may be pretty, but that's exactly why people catch me and put me in cages. I live my whole life imprisoned, unable to fly freely, and I always feel afraid." This, the crow felt even more disappointed. It asked again, "So in your opinion, which bird is truly happy?" The parrot thought for a moment and said, "Maybe the peacock. Everyone admires its beauty, and it gets to live in a large enclosure, which seems more comfortable." Following this suggestion, the crow decided to continue its journey to find the peacock and discover the final answer about happiness. The crow continued its journey and flew to the zoo to find the peacock. When it arrived, it saw a peacock spreading its radiant feathers in front of a crowd of visitors. Everyone was admiring its dazzling beauty. The crow approached and said, "Dear Peacock, you are amazing. Your feathers are so beautiful and everyone admires you. You must be the happiest bird in the world." The peacock looked at the crow and sadly shook its head. "Not at all, my friend. People only love to take my feathers for decoration. They pluck my feathers, which is painful, and it keeps happening over and over. I wish I could live freely like you. No one bothers you, no one cages you, and you can fly wherever you wish." Hearing this, the crow was stunned. It had never realized that the freedom it had was something other birds deeply longed for. The crow thanked the peacock and flew back to the old crow, full of gratitude for simply being itself. After meeting the peacock, the crow realized something important. All the birds it had once admired had their own struggles. Whether it was the swan, the parrot, or the peacock, though they had beautiful appearances and were loved by humans, they did not live freely, and all suffered in their own ways. Meanwhile, the crow, though not admired by anyone, lived freely, was not caged, and was not exploited or harmed. The crow returned to the old crow and shared everything it had learned on its journey. It smiled and said, "Now I don't want to become anyone else. I am happy being myself." The old crow nodded in approval. This story brings a deep lesson. Everyone has struggles that others cannot see. Comparing ourselves to others only makes us more miserable. True happiness comes when we appreciate what we have and live authentically. You are unique, and no one can be a better you than you. The story of the crow is a gentle yet profound reminder. Each of us has our own difficulties, sorrows, and challenges that others cannot easily see. From the swan to the parrot to the peacock, they all possess appearances that seem enviable. But behind that beauty are struggles that we can only understand if we truly listen. Comparing ourselves to others often leads only to feelings of insecurity and unhappiness. Each person is a unique individual with their own value. When we stop chasing after someone else's image and start appreciating who we truly are, that is when genuine happiness begins to grow. The most important lesson from this story is this: be grateful for what you already have, from freedom and health to the small everyday blessings. Happiness doesn't come from becoming someone else. It comes from living honestly as yourself. You are the best version of you. And never forget, when we stop comparing, we finally find peace.